Humans have a very close relationship with their pets. The two most common pets in the world are, of course, cats and dogs. The relationship between humans and dogs has been quite well studied over the years. We have quite a fairly detailed understanding about what both sides actually get out of the relationship and how they communicate. However, the same can't be said for humans and cats. What we do know is that when humans started to move from hunter-gatherers to more settled farmers, the humans then started to build structures to store the harvested food in. This would then enable the humans to have a reliable food source for the whole year. However, with all that food stored in a single location, the structures then began to attract mice and rats, potentially eating all the stored food and putting at risk all the efforts of the farmers. So around 10,000 years ago, farmers then enlisted the help of a wild cat species, not too different from the modern domesticated cat. Wild cats tended to normally loiter around human settlements where they could pick up scraps of food and the occasional rodent was attracted to the human settlement. It's probable this attempted domestication of the cat might not have been a single event, but cats may have been actually domesticated on 5 different occasions in different locations from the wild. Farmers would have noticed how efficient the wild cats were at dealing with rodents, so it didn't take much of a leap to attempt to domesticate the wild cats and have them on permanent rodent guard duty. Arrangement between humans and cats seems to be mutually beneficial. The cats get a secure supply of food and are not also going to be hassled by any larger predators, at least not with all the humans around. The humans get their harvested crops protected from rodents. As years move on, the cats remain with the humans through being treated as gods by the Egyptians, later guarding against rodents carrying diseases, until in modern times the hunting abilities of cats seem no longer to be required. It leaves us with a question: why do humans still keep cats as pets? The food insecurity is still major reasons why cats remain with the humans, if not in the fully domesticated role that actually dogs have. Semi-wild cats certainly find it easier to survive in partnership with the humans, but are they offering us something else in return that we aren't fully aware of? Well, cats are certainly companions, and stroking their fur can lower stress levels and relax people, in turn lowering the risks of heart attacks and strokes. The act of stroking a cat may in turn also relax the cat and create the conditions for a cat to actually purr, one of the more unusual effects in the animal world. So what actually is going on with the cat and purring? Why do they do it? And does it have any benefits for humans or even the cats themselves? Well, the purr of a domesticated cat is generally at the frequency between 25 and 100 Hertz, which is the low end of human hearing, but one we can still hear relatively easily. Now, the range between 50 and 20 Hertz, vibrations created by the purr also do have a positive impact on both growth, both in terms of development in young bones, but also in repair and damage of older bones. In addition, the purr can also promote general repair and damage of tissues or skin at ranges of up to 100 Hertz. So purring may initially have developed in cats as a way, when they're relaxed and resting, of assisting in repair of any damage that they'd actually acquired previously. It can also partly explain why cats are able to recover from injuries that might have actually killed another animal. Now, the purring, unlike the meow, may also be a form of communication between cats. Young kittens start purring at a very early age. The mother cat will actually respond to the purring kitten. The kitten may also be purring to promote its own growth and development, as well as to attract the parent's attention. This purring for attention also occurs in many adult cats, especially around feeding time. Many cats will use a particular purr to signal their human that it's feeding time and they're actually hungry. The particular frequency of the feeding purr is different from the relaxed stroking purr, so it's actually possible that cats may have a fairly complex language system relating to purrs we actually haven't fully discovered yet. This idea of using purr as a communication system is also reinforced by the fact that cats will sometimes purr at each other, especially while being groomed and licked by another cat. So it's actually possible that the cat purr that is actually being produced whilst it's being groomed may communicate something like, yes, that's the spot, down a little lower, or something similar to that. Purring in cats certainly could do with more studies being actually carried out to find out exactly what the cats are up to, and further study may then help us to communicate better with them. We can actually start from the point of actually having some general idea of what the range of purrs all mean. Cats may even realise the beneficial impact that their purring has not only on other cats but also on the humans themselves. There have been several documented cases where the human is recovering from a serious injury or a hospital operation, and the cat will snuggle up close to the site of the injury and begin purring, even if previously the cat wasn't a general lap cat or purring type. Potentially this could be an attempt to get the human to recover quicker, something that would be an indirect benefit to the cat.